Hi guys, how's it going? Caitlin here and welcome to my kitchen for another week of meal prep. I hope you're excited for the week ahead. If you don't have your prep list, be sure to check the description in this video here so that you can grab your groceries, grab all of your kitchen tools, all that. On the menu today, we have mango salsa, spinach salad, and beef and broccoli. So if it sounds good to you, sounds good to me. Let's go with it, shall we? I do have 3 varying levels of prep depending on your level of motivation, maybe your time constraints. If you do want to get the time to table results you see in the meal plan, you're going to want to go all the way with me to level 3, okay? And like many times, I am actually going to start with items that are in level 3 because some of the things are things that'll do themselves while we're doing other things, and that's how we gain extra time back. So get my oven started. I think we're going to start with getting my bacon in there. I'm also going to boil some eggs and make some rice. So a few things on the go. You can cook these things obviously in any method that you want to use. I was thinking once upon a time I had scissors. And then I had to open some things. My little guy, he's been, on work days, he has been preferring to not go to daycare. The kids there are a little younger, so I try when I'm doing a video just to set him up with a good solid snack tray. So I have like a billion different baking trays. So the kids like to choose their snack tray and they just choose a different baking tray. So today it was kind of like a little, it's like a Timbit pan, donut hole pan, I guess it is. So that's what he wanted to put his snacks on today. Other days it's, you know, a muffin pan or brownie pan or whatever, but so my bacon, I prefer to cook it in the oven. It's just very hands-off. I don't have to worry about like checking it, flipping it, getting spit at. None of those things. Maybe you're a microwave person. Maybe you're a stovetop person. And if you don't want to cook all of your bacon, I just know that bacon is never going to go to waste in my house. There's, you know, 5 people and 3 of them are bacon fiends. So I feel like I got to make extra just so that I'll be able to use it. Just so I'll be able to use it for its intended purpose, right? Gonna boil some eggs. I like to do it in the pressure cooker. It's just easy. And weirdly enough, like your eggs actually peel a lot better when you cook them in a pressure cooker. It goes from like being like this difficult thing to just being the simplest thing ever. So you always want to have at least a cup of water in your pressure cooker. I don't really know why. I just know that that's what they say. And I think it's to avoid like burning or something. I don't know. It sounds right to me. If I say it confidently enough, will you believe me? Last one I'm going to do is I'm going to make some rice. If you are grain-free, maybe you're not making rice, we're a little half and half. I feel a lot better when I eat grain-free. So I find it's kind of helpful, I don't know, for inflammation and stuff like that, but my chronic pain stuff is always way better when I tend to eat closer to a paleo lifestyle. So I probably do about 90% paleo, and then here and there I do cheats for things that have grains in them. But it's one of those things, it's like, it's gotta kind of be worth it to me. If I eat grain every day, I'm gonna be sore, things are gonna hurt. So that's really not worth it. But if I had a little here and there, then it seems to be okay. So I'm all about the lazy. I'm cooking my rice in the microwave. If you're looking at me and thinking, I never use a microwave, good for you. Wonderful. But this is survival meals, man. It's survival. Man, that bacon already smells good. Like, how is that even possible? Okay. So, get myself all set up here. I'm gonna go back to level 1. So, level 1, usually like just cutting some veggies and stuff like that, you know, the basics, the stuff that you know that you're gonna have to do, but it's just so much easier. So much easier when you have it done ahead of time. So, so I got a sweet onion. You could use a different kind of onion if you wanted to. You could use red onion if you felt like it, or Spanish onion, or whatever. Like, it's an onion. Don't worry about it too much. But this one, it's going to do double duty. It's going to be going in our mango salsa, and it's also going to be going on the salad. So I just didn't want to do, like, you know, regular onion on my salad. Red onion I find works well on a salad. But if I'm just like cutting up regular white onion for a salad, maybe I'm snobby. It's okay. But if I want to treat myself to a designer onion every now and then, it's not the worst that could happen. Not the funnest onion I've ever met in my life to peel, though. Like, if this were a battle, it's definitely like winning. There we go. So I'm just gonna slice, it says half, but I'm just going to slice what feels like it's gonna work for me for a salad. I'm gonna cut it in half before I slice it. I'm just gonna slice what feels like it's gonna work well for me for a salad, and then the rest I'm just gonna kind of, you know, Might just throw the rest in with the mango salsa. There you go. So that'll find things to go in. Some of it might go in my beef and broccoli too, because honestly, that sounds kind of delicious to me. Okay, the rest of this onion I'm gonna put in my food processor because, well, it's gonna go in there for when I'm getting the mango salsa together. Spoiler alert, we're putting mango salsa together. Just kidding. I mean, I hope that you, you know, looked at the prep list a little bit ahead of time. It never hurts to look at it, right? Okay, I ordered broccoli from the grocery store. Can we look at this for just a second? That was $6 worth of broccoli. Like, that is not even like you put those two together. It's barely even a head of broccoli. That is ridiculous. The shrinkflation. What the heck is that? Like, if you don't laugh, you'd cry. But oh man, wow. Okay. Yeah. So in this case, I might have done better by honestly getting a bag of frozen broccoli. I do order my groceries for pickup because generally I find I spend a lot less if I do that. It saves me a lot of time, a lot of time. So it's generally worth it, but this sad broccoli, like, there's some things that have me second guessing my life choices sometimes, and this is one of them. After I got home, it's like you feel like going in and being like, really? Was that the best you can do for $6? However, not the end of the world. The nice thing about meal planning is your stuff doesn't have to be, you know, none of it has to be picture perfect. None of it does. But I am going to bulk this up because for the entire family, for a beef and broccoli, that ain't gonna cut it. But luckily the stems are actually really large on this one, so I like this. I was planning on making a broccoli slaw anyway, because honestly my kids hate broccoli. And they probably don't hate the flavor. It's, broccoli looks very obviously like broccoli when it's in something. So I like hiding it by using the stems. And in this case, I'm gonna be bulking up my beef and broccoli by using these stems. The stems contain almost the exact same nutrients as you get in the florets, but you don't get that telltale color. So you chop off the little woody end, you give it a peel with a vegetable peeler, and then just chop it up as finely as you want to and throw it in with stir fries, slow cooker meals, anything like that. I'm gonna bulk it up a little bit more with some carrot. I probably will throw in a little bit of that onion as well. So it's like beef and broccoli plus whatever. So if you do find that you have some stuff in your crisper that's just not going to be used, beef and broccoli, this is one of those recipes. Look at it, think of what you got to use, because you may very well just be able to throw it into the stir fry. It's gonna taste good in there. Like, I'm gonna use a mandolin just to chop these things up pretty small. So I'm an absolute klutz. I cannot use a regular mandolin. This one is like a vegetable guillotine. Works like a charm, super safe, very effective. Still ridiculously sharp. Even after I've had it for like 4.5 years, it's going very strong. And after a lot of use, I used to have a traditional mandolin. I was banned from being allowed to use it. Will my kids still complain about this broccoli? Yes. Will they eat it? Yes. Because when it comes on the table, I'm gonna be like, well guys, see how much it's gonna bulk it up? Like, when I put it on the table, they're gonna look, they're gonna be like, ew, broccoli. And I'll be like, well, just pick around it, or take the broccoli out, or put some ketchup on it. So they're going to take it and make a show of it and throw it all over the table. But the broccoli stems, they'll sneak in because they know they can't take everything out of their meal, so they're very selective. They're smart. They're very smart kids. They're selective. Yeah, that like doubled the veggie content. I feel much better about that now. That would have just been, sad. It would have been sad. Okay guys, that's it. We got level 1 done. Now we're on to level 2. Level 2 is stuff that honestly is kind of time consuming and stuff you won't feel like putting together the night of, because it's all well and good to have a meal plan, but when all you have is a menu, like you know what you're gonna make, but you haven't prepped anything, then you're relying on motivation, okay? Motivation is not our friend. We may think motivation is our friend. Motivation is not our friend at all. It's mean. You always think you're gonna be motivated when you're making this meal plan at like, you know, I don't know, 8:30 on a Sunday morning. But when it comes right down to it and it's 5 o'clock and everybody's ringy, asking what's for dinner, and you're looking at this thing and you still got like 30 minutes to put it together, it's not gonna feel good. That's when you're gonna be like, you know what, screw it. Breakfast for supper. And that's fine, we all have those nights. However, a lot of the time, people will feel like, oh, well, I tried meal planning and I went off the wagon, it didn't work for me. No, it's not that it didn't work for you, it's that honestly, it worked in a very predictable sort of manner. Like if we rely on motivation at our probably worst time of the day, it's going to let us down. Okay, whole bunch of cheese there. I wanted about a cup and a half, probably got more. You can skip this stuff too. If you wanted to just buy pre-shredded cheese, buy pre-shredded cheese. Take the shortcuts, do what you want. I just find like it doesn't take very long. And once I'm like in the prep mode, then it's not so bad because I'm in the prep mode, you know? I'm gonna make up some croutons as well for my salad. You can buy croutons already if you want to. The Grain Escape bread, my favorite grain-free bread that you can just buy. Like, what kind of magic is this? Thank you, 2026. Love this bread. And it's actually really good. Like, I used to buy carbonate every now and then because I'm like, well, it's not quite as much. And you know what? Making my own paleo bread is just takes a long time. Sometimes you just want to have, you know, a thing. Something easy, something done for you. So, got some oil there. And what else? Throw some salt and pepper on there. If you're making your own croutons, you can choose any flavor that you want. I'm just gonna throw some garlic on mine, call it a day. There we go. There we go. And it is just that easy. I'm just gonna throw these just in the oven. There, so I'll just leave those in the oven for a few minutes and they'll be crispy and they'll be done. They'll be croutons. So kind of nice not having to buy, you know, like not having to buy croutons and buy bread and buy breadcrumbs and have all the different things. It's like, why not just, you know, just throw it all in there together. So some cilantro. You want about 1/3 of the bunch-ish. So you can tweak that in whichever way works for you. Because maybe you're not a huge fan of cilantro, go with a little less. You don't really have to worry about eating the stems. The stems actually tend to have more flavor than the leaves do. However, they do alter the texture a little bit. So keep it in mind if you want to have like some stem, not too much stem, whatever. I wonder if when you buy like, you know, you can buy dried cilantro and stuff like that. I wonder if they dry like the whole thing or if they just use the stems and maybe they're using the leaves in other spots. Like, kind of smart if it was like the same company and they're like, oh, we make salsa and we use the cilantro and then we dry up the stems and make dried cilantro too. The things that I wonder, sorry. Now, I've heard that there's some places where the stem is actually preferred for cooking some dishes because where it does have more flavor. So I don't know. Uh-oh, I made an awful error. That wasn't very well thought out. I was like, oh, I'll just take out my little, take out the base of my food processor. Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. Because then when I went to try to put it in, of course, the blade wouldn't pop into the right spot. Okay. So I still need other things in there too, but I'm going to start with this. All right. Next step, I'm going to throw in some red pepper. I throw in the onion and the cilantro in first because I want them to be like kind of, smaller than anything else. Why does that always already smell so good? Probably because I'm a cilantro junkie. That looks lovely. Man, I'd probably just eat that on things too. Perfectly honest. It smells delicious. Okay. Oh yes. You know what mango salsa also needs? Mangoes. So, in my experience, okay, so the frozen mangoes are definitely the most cost-effective way for me to get mangoes. But I do like to make sure I have it thawed or mostly thawed first. Reason being just because if they're frozen, it'll almost make like a nice cream type of thing. And I don't want nice cream, right? Don't want nice cream. I want to have chunked up pieces of mango. I think I'm still managing to make myself some nice cream in there, but you know what? It's still gonna taste good. Yeah, we'll see. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, my mangoes are still a little frozen. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. You know what? I think I'm actually just going to stir this up a little later on today because it's definitely going to thaw in the fridge. It's going to look horrible till then. Oh, that's fresh lime. Fresh lime. Always just smells so good. My son was helping me get set up. The important things in life. I need torn up toilet paper roll on top of my chili powder. And I really don't think this is going to stir up right now, so. I promise it's going to turn out fine. It will turn out fine, but it's just not going to mix right now, and I'm not going to pretend it is. So that's just going to go in the fridge like that. And I'll mix it up a little later. No harm, no foul. Okay, mango salsa is made. Get some beef and broccoli sauce on the go. When you do ginger, do you peel your ginger or do you just straight up like grate it? Because I always peel mine and then I always second guess myself. I'm like, do you have to? Would it affect the flavor? Would it change things? I just don't know. The last thing I want to do is like actually, try it and see. So this little thing I'm using here is called a cup zester, and it's magical for ginger. If you use a lot of fresh ginger, it is just one of those things that you might love. If you love it half as much as I do, then it's totally worth it to have. That's about a teaspoonish. Guess I should probably check on my things. Rice is all done, just giving it a fluff. Bacon is perfectly done. Croutons are perfectly done. Beauty. Man, I love it when things just work. Couldn't have timed that better. Oh, speaking of timing better. are like the tiniest little cloves in the whole world, so I'm going to throw an extra one in. Of course, the extra one I'm going to throw in is the largest clove in the whole thing. Take these eggs, put some cold water on them. Don't really want them to cook anymore. There we go. So what I like to do is with the eggs is just to put them right back into the egg carton. And I did. I put a full dozen eggs in there because I know we're going to use them. So it's like, well, I'm already doing the things. I might as well do extra. Plus, it's hilarious when my husband decides that he's going to crack an egg for breakfast, and then he digs into my carton that has the boiled ones. Okay, I'm not that evil. I do try to remember to write on it that that they're boiled or put some kind of a mark on it or something, but sometimes I forget. And I'm not gonna lie, it's still a little funny. You can feel bad for him if you want. I understand. When we were dating, though, we used to say we had a revenge-based relationship. Which sounds awful, but it'd be like one of us would prank one, then we'd prank the other, and it would just go back and forth. And we're both mischievous, so we love this arrangement. Gotta say, we probably prank each other less now that we have kids. Maybe we get pranked enough by everybody else, I'm not sure. So instead of making your own sauce, you could also just buy a sauce. You can check like VH sauces, all of them are gluten-free. So if you're just looking for something to throw in a stir fry, you don't feel like mixing up the sauce, just go check that out. Like, I mean, I like making my own sauces because I have multiple sensitivities. And once I started finding out what was in food, I was way happier to be able to make my own stuff because I know what's going into it. And that's a beautiful thing. But you also got to be able to respect your own time, how much time you got. And if making a sauce is what's going to break your meal plan, then just go buy a sauce. It's all right. There's no judgment here. Speaking of making your own sauces, I'm going to make my own salad dressing right now. And it's going to be really easy. So this is for the spinach salad. You can get a pre-made salad dressing if you want to. However, I really think making a honey Dijon dressing is both delicious and super easy to throw together. So literally 2 parts honey, 1 part Dijon. Then your dressing is done. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that, does it? It wasn't me farting, it was the honey, I promise. Beautiful. And that is honestly, that is it. That is going to be honey Dijon. It's going to taste delicious. You're like, well, that was easy. See, super simple. Like making stuff from scratch, it doesn't have to be that fancy. It doesn't have to be difficult. Some honey and some Dijon. There you go. And then you don't have to have an extra bottle of random dressing in the fridge either. So if that's all you got in you, that's level 2 done. If you've got level 2 and most of level 3 done, then heck, why don't we just finish up level 3 and just finish it all off, right? Just end it on a good note there. That is way more steak than I meant to get. That's okay. Okay, so like one of these will be honestly fine for this. I might just freeze the other one and save it for another time. Because I don't need that much steak for the beef and broccoli. I guess I should have mentioned before doing this, like I always like cutting the meat as the last thing that I'm doing, because obviously then my cutting board is destroyed for anything else. But while you're prepping is a great time to look at your fridge, to see what needs to be used up, and then figure out how you can incorporate it into your meals this week. This is something that could be used in a side dish. You can still throw a side dish on with your mango salsa if you wanted to. Or is it something you'd be able to incorporate into your spinach salad? You can get away with throwing lots of random things in a salad. It doesn't have to be much. You can be like, okay, I've got like a quarter of a zucchini here that's starting to go, you know? Instead of letting it go, just slice it up, throw it in your beef and broccoli. Slice it up, throw it on your spinach salad. But if you have a plan for it, then you're going to use it. Or if you know that you don't want to use it in either one of those things, process it. Take it out, chop it up, throw it in the freezer, but make sure that you do have it marked in the freezer, what it is, when you used it. And then the next time you're short on ideas or effort, you have something that's already prepped for you in there. You know, a little something you can throw into the slow cooker, or heck, it's zucchini. You could throw into a smoothie if you wanted to. You're never going to notice it. I tried to do that with my spiralizer. Whenever I use it, it leaves like kind of a little circle that's left over. I like taking that circle of, you know, zucchini or whatever and just putting a little puck in the freezer. And then next time I'm doing a smoothie, I'll just throw it in. It's like extra ice with nutrients. You never notice it. Figure there's very little like fruit and veggies you can't just freeze and repurpose. All right, there we go. Beef all sliced up. Guys, everything is ready to go. This is gonna be such an easy week. Everything's gonna be just bam, 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 ready to cook up and serve. I hope that you enjoy the meals this week. I hope you enjoy the feeling even more of just being prepared for the next few days, because what you just did right now, it is self-care. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.